Hello everybody, I'm so excited to share this adventure with you. I thought I knew Italian food. I really did. Giant bowls of pasta, the kind that could feed a small family, rivers of red sauce practically swimming with meatballs, mountains of cheese, enough to bury any vegetable that dared to peek through. So, I flew to Italy expecting even bigger, cheesier hugs from the motherland. I envisioned a culinary paradise of excess. But landing in Rome, I was hit with a cultural shock, a delicious but disorienting one. I quickly realized that real Italian food is nothing like what I grew up with. It was a completely different universe. No bottomless breadsticks, just a simple basket of crusty bread. No chicken parm the size of my head, more like a delicate, artful presentation. Instead, just elegant, understated restaurants and menus I couldn't pronounce, filled with ingredients I'd never heard of. Italy was here to teach me everything I knew was wrong, to dismantle my cheesy expectations, one perfectly portioned plate at a time, each dish a lesson in simplicity and flavor. My dreams of endless cheese were replaced by a world of rules, unspoken guidelines, and culinary commandments. Traditions passed down through generations, fiercely guarded and meticulously followed, and bafflingly small portions that somehow managed to be incredibly satisfying. The food was so good it made me want to cry from the sheer joy of experiencing such incredible flavors. But so confusing it made me want to pull my hair out. What that ingredient? And how do you even pronounce it? This is the story of my great Italian food awakening, a culinary conversion if you will. A journey into the heart of flavor, where every bite tells a story, and the soul of a nation that feeds you, but only on its own terms. They have standards, and they stick to them. Join me as I discover the real Italy. One plate of pasta, one glass of wine, one charming trattoria at a time. Far from the commercials and movie cliches, this is the Italy that the locals know and love. Let's begin, the adventure awaits. Sure. My first mission, and it was a crucial one, pasta. I had a very specific craving in mind, a dish I'd grown up with and considered a staple. I walked into what looked like a postcard-perfect trattoria, the kind you see in movies with checkered tablecloths and the aroma of garlic in the air. I was ready, absolutely ready for a heaping plate of spaghetti and meatballs. I eagerly scoured the menu, my eyes darting from one dish to another, searching for that familiar combination. But alas, nothing. Not a single mention of spaghetti and meatballs. Slightly bewildered, I decided to ask the waiter, hoping it was just an oversight. He looked at me with a mixture of confusion and amusement, as if I'd asked for a unicorn or some other mythical creature. With a polite but firm tone, he explained that spaghetti and meatballs is, in fact, an American invention, a dish created by Italian immigrants in the United States. It's not something you'd typically find in a traditional Italian restaurant. My world crumbled, just a little bit. What had I been eating all my life? Was everything I thought I knew about Italian food a lie? This was a culinary crisis of epic proportions. Sensing my disappointment, the waiter, in an act of culinary kindness, suggested cacio e pepe, a simple dish made with just cheese and pepper. It sounded incredibly plain, almost boring, compared to the hearty dish I had envisioned. But, defeated and intrigued, I gave in, deciding to trust his judgment. The plate that arrived was surprisingly small, a delicate swirl of perfectly cooked pasta, coated in a light, creamy sauce and generously sprinkled with freshly ground black pepper. The presentation was understated, yet elegant. I braced myself for disappointment, expecting something bland and unfulfilling. But the first bite was pure magic, an explosion of flavor that completely defied my expectations. The sharp, salty pecorino cheese, the spicy bite of the pepper, and the perfectly al dente pasta created a symphony of textures and tastes. How could so few ingredients, so simply prepared, taste so incredibly complex and satisfying? It was a revelation. Later, in Bologna, the culinary capital of Italy, I decided to continue my quest for familiar flavors and search for fettuccine alfredo, another dish I associated with authentic Italian cuisine. Once again I was met with confusion and blank stares. Instead of alfredo, I was presented with tagliatelle al ragu, a rich, slow-cooked meat sauce, simmered for hours with vegetables and wine, clinging lovingly to the wide, flat noodles. It was infinitely more flavorful, more nuanced, and more satisfying than anything I'd ever had back home, a true testament to the power of simple, high-quality ingredients and patient cooking. Italy was subtly teaching me a valuable lesson about food and life, that you don't always need to drown food in heavy sauces and excessive amounts of cheese to make it delicious. Sometimes, the best things in life, and in food, are the simplest, made with care, passion, and the finest, freshest ingredients. My American heart still held a soft spot for a good meatball. I couldn't deny that, but I was starting to understand the beauty of authentic Italian cuisine. Every region in Italy seemed to have its own unique pasta shape, its own set of culinary rules and traditions, and its own distinct way of showing me just how little I actually knew about Italian food. I was slowly but surely learning to appreciate the art of restraint, the power of simplicity, and the beauty of letting the ingredients speak for themselves. The lesson was clear: less is often more, and quality will always triumph over quantity. My pasta journey had only just begun, and already, I was completely and utterly hooked, eager to explore the endless possibilities of Italian cuisine. Italy was changing me, one delicious bite at a time, expanding my palate and challenging my preconceived notions about food. I was starting to crave the real thing, the authentic flavors of Italy, and I was incredibly hungry for more, ready to dive deeper into this culinary adventure. Next stop, Naples, the legendary birthplace of pizza, a city buzzing with history, culture, and of course, the aroma of freshly baked dough. I had visions of a pizza paradise dancing in my head. I expected a buffet of toppings, a glorious, endless selection of everything imaginable piled high on every slice. I was ready for deep dish wonders, a true Americanized pizza extravaganza. The menu? It was presented with a flourish, and I eagerly anticipated the choices. But then I saw it. 2 options, marinara and margarita, that was it. No Hawaiian, no meat lovers, no supreme, just these 2 classic choices. That's it. My jaw nearly dropped. I couldn't believe the limited selection. Where was the creativity? The innovation? I asked, perhaps a little too enthusiastically for extra toppings, mushrooms, olives, anything to liven things up a bit, only to be met with a look of horror. The waiter recoiled, as if I'd suggested putting ketchup on a priceless work of art. In Naples, pizza is sacred, a tradition passed down through generations, a culinary art form not to be trifled with. The essence of Neapolitan pizza is simplicity itself. Tomato, mozzarella, basil, dough, nothing else. No need for bells and whistles, just pure, unadulterated flavor. Reluctantly, I ordered the margarita. I figured I should at least try the classic. It arrived thin, almost paper-thin, and slightly soupy in the middle, a characteristic I wasn't quite sure about. With charred, puffy crust blackened in spots from the wood-fired oven, and just a few scattered pools of glistening mozzarella. No neat slices. It was presented whole, daring me to tackle it, just a knife and fork. An unusual sight for a pizza-accustomed American. I felt out of place, a culinary barbarian in a land of refined taste. Hesitantly, I picked up the knife and fork, took a deep breath, and the first bite changed everything. The dough was chewy and smoky, a testament to the intense heat of the wood-fired oven. The tomatoes vibrant, bursting with sun-ripened flavor, the cheese delicate, melting in my mouth. It was, without a doubt, the best pizza I'd ever tasted, a revelation in simplicity. Naples ruined all other pizzas for me. I knew, in that moment, that my pizza standards had been irrevocably raised. I finally understood the magic wasn't in the quantity, but in the quality. It's not about piling on toppings, creating a Frankensteinian monstrosity of flavors, but about perfecting a few incredible ingredients, allowing each one to shine in its own right. The simplicity was humbling and utterly delicious, a testament to the power of less is more. I left the pizzeria a changed person, a pizza convert, grateful for the lesson in culinary minimalism. Sometimes less really is more, especially when it comes to pizza in Naples. Naples had schooled me, and I was a willing student, eager to absorb every culinary lesson it had to offer. The real Italian pizza was nothing like home, and so much better. A true masterpiece of flavor and texture. I'd never look at pizza the same way again. My perspective had been completely transformed. Italy was full of surprises and I was loving everyone. Each new experience was a revelation, a delicious adventure. Being a tourist in Italy means making a fool of yourself. Trust me, I'm an expert. The language tripped me up. My due cappuccini sounded like I was ordering a small animal. Italians are forgiving, but the ordering system is chaos. Pay at the cashier, get a receipt, then hand it to the counter. My first attempts left me waiting while locals breezed through. I bought train tickets to the wrong town, wandered into shops during riposo, and stood in empty stores wondering if the world had ended. But every mistake was part of the adventure. Being the outsider forced me to slow down, observe, and laugh at myself. I learned to communicate with gestures and smiles. For every blunder, I got a kind smile, a helpful gesture, and usually something delicious. That's the beauty of traveling in Italy. I came to Italy thinking it was all pizza and pasta. I was so wrong. In Florence, I tried lampredato, a cow's stomach sandwich. It was surprisingly delicious. That opened the floodgates. Arancini in Sicily, fried risotto balls stuffed with meat and cheese, pure heaven. I discovered a world of cured meats, prosciutto, spicy salami, rich lardo, and the cheese, creamy gorgonzola, nutty pecorino, fresh ricotta. Each region had its own specialty. Italy's food is as diverse as its geography: hearty polenta in the north, fresh seafood in the south. Every region offered something new and unexpected. I came for pizza and pasta, but left with a love for cow stomach, fried rice balls, and 100 other things I couldn't pronounce. My food world exploded, and my stomach was thrilled. Italy's culinary landscape is a never-ending adventure. Every meal was a discovery. I felt like an explorer, charting unknown lands. The more I tried, the more I realized how little I knew, and I loved every bite. Italian dining is full of rules, so many it feels like a secret handbook. The most famous: never order cappuccino after 11 a.m. I learned the hard way. Pasta rules: never break spaghetti to fit the pot. Pair the right shape with the right sauce. Cheese on seafood pasta? Don't even think about it. Dinner doesn't start until 8 p.m. The meal is a marathon: antipasto, primo, secondo, dolce. Salads come after the main course, not before. It all seemed rigid, but the rules enhanced the experience. They're born from centuries of tradition and a deep understanding of flavor. These laws protect the quality of every meal. At first I was baffled, but I learned to respect them. The rules aren't meant to confuse, they're meant to make every bite better. I still don't get all of them, but I follow along. And yes, I order my cappuccino before 11 a.m. now. Italian dining is an art, and I'm still learning the brushstrokes. The rules are part of the magic. No trip to Italy is complete without espresso and gelato. Coffee in Italy is a quick, powerful ritual order at the counter. Drink your espresso in 2 gulps, and go. My first time I tried to take my cup to a table. The barista looked at me like I was stealing. Espresso is intense, pure, and nothing like the syrupy drinks back home. After a few days I felt invincible. Then, there's gelato. Not ice cream, but denser, smoother, and more flavorful. Gelaterias are like art galleries, with real pistachio, fresh lemon, and hazelnut that taste like the region. My rule: 2 gelatos a day. Every flavor a revelation. The combination of espresso and gelato is the perfect Italian pairing. Bitter and sweet, intense and delightful. It became my daily ritual, and I never wanted it to end. Italy's simple pleasures are unforgettable. Espresso wakes you up, gelato makes you smile. Together they're pure joy, and I could definitely get used to that. In America, cheese is a way of life. Pile it on, melt it, stuff it everywhere. In Italy, they invented the world's best cheeses, then used them with restraint. My first cacio e pepe had just a dusting of pecorino. My pizza had a few pools of mozzarella. At first I missed the cheese avalanche, but then I tasted the difference. Each ingredient shone on its own cheese as an accent, not a blanket. Ravioli with sage butter and a whisper of parmesan, caprese salad with perfect balance. It's about quality, not quantity. When you use less, you taste more. I learned to savor the complexity of aged Parmigiano and the sweetness of fresh mozzarella. It's a mindful, respectful way of eating. I still love American mac and cheese, but Italy taught me that sometimes less really is more, even if it hurts to admit. So, here I am, at the end of my Italian food journey, more confused than ever, but in the best way. I came for childhood dreams, found complexity, nuance, and incredible flavor. I still don't get all the rules, but I respect them. They're a form of love, preserving tradition. Italian food isn't just about eating. It's about history, family, and passion. The best meals aren't the biggest, they're made with care, great ingredients, and a sense of place. I may never order coffee like a local, but I leave with a full stomach and a new respect for the art of eating. Italy schooled me, confused me, and fed me the best food of my life. I'll keep coming back, keep eating, and keep trying to figure it all out. And I promise to only order my cappuccino in the morning, probably.